Welcome back to Learning with Laser. My name is Allison Laser, and today we're going to be talking all about 5-year-old milestones. This will be the last video in our milestone playlist and the course of our milestone developmental videos. So as we get started, I'm going to talk through just a couple of the milestones that are developmentally appropriate for 5-year-olds, and I'm also going to give you ideas on how to enhance your child's experiences of these milestones as they're learning and growing. One thing to remember is these are the milestones they are working on from the age 5 to 6. They don't need to have these mastered by 5. They are developing them during the age of 5. So for social and emotional, 5-year-olds want to please and be like friends. This is when you're going to see, she has a pink bow, I want a pink bow, mommy. Or, did you see he can run fast? Watch me run fast. It's that desire to be like something they see. And it's amazing because they have made the connection from what their friend can do and what they want to do. An easy way to encourage this is to encourage them to be like people that you think are positive influences. So if they're spending time with a friend and that friend often has a bad attitude, you're going to start seeing some more of that bad attitude. They're going to want to please that friend, and if that means having a bit more of an attitude, you're going to see more of that. Surround them with good, healthy friends and encourage them to be like one of those friends, even if it's somebody a little bit older. It could also be a sibling. You're going to see that they like to sing and dance and act. This is when they start reenacting Frozen and Moana and Encanto and all those amazing songs and movies that we enjoy. This is when they decide that they're a Power Ranger or a cop and a firefighter. And you're going to start seeing a lot more of these actions and the mimicry, which again goes back to that wanting to be like something else. Encourage this. Simply play music. Play good, fun music that they know and enjoy. Let them watch plays. Go see a local play, a puppet show or something that allows them to see that idea of acting and of being goofy and silly, and be silly with them. Another one is they're going to start showing a lot more independence. And for a lot of parents, this is hard because you don't want to let your little baby go. But as a former pre-K teacher, I can say this independence is really good and really necessary for the times where they're not with you. This is when you want them to have confidence in the skills that they need to survive. This is when you let them try to tie their shoes even though they end up in knots. This is when you let them try putting on your makeup because they see you doing it and they want to be like you, and they know that big grown-ups wear makeup. This is when you see the boys wanting to climb and jump on their own without holding a hand. It's a good thing. It's a scary thing, but it's a good thing. You're going to hear speech really clearing up. If your child has had speech issues, this is when you're going to see a lot of those issues resolving, or you're going to realize there are some issues there that you'd like to consult with your pediatrician or speech pathologist about. So you're going to start hearing clearer speech, clearer storytelling, and a way to encourage that is giving them the opportunity to speak and not jumping right in to correct them. If they said, well, him said, instead give them time and later repeat their words to them. Oh, you mentioned that he said, and let them start hearing that correction without stopping them and be like, no, it's he said. Gently show and model the correct speech, and they'll start catching on a lot quicker. They start using future tense. This one's fun because they're going to say things like, we are going to go to the zoo, or we will be going to the zoo. They start making the connection between it's not happening right now, it's coming up. We will be. We are going to. Not now, but in the future. Another one is they can count 10 or more things. Now, as I've mentioned in the 4-year-old milestones, 4-year-old assessments and kindergarten assessments do expect more from the public school system. Developmentally, counting 10 things, pointing and counting 10 objects correctly is developmentally appropriate. If your child can do this confidently, add more things in. Also, spread like 3 items out and say, don't count, how many are there? And let them look down and see if they can say 3. Another skill that they're going to start really working on and mastering is copying triangles and other shapes. So at this point, they've really worked on that pencil grasp. They're holding that pencil with a tripod grip, and they're able to see the lines and mimic them. They won't look perfect, but a good way to do this is color with them, draw with them, let them see you doing it, and then demonstrate for them. A lot of times I'll put a dot at the top of the page and I'll say, draw a line down. And I'll draw another line down. Now connect them. And next thing you know, they've drawn a triangle. They've also learned the basics of writing the letter A, M, V, W, etc. For gross motor skills, 5-year-olds are able to hop and skip. This is that one leg at a time movement, and it is more challenging, especially the skipping. A good way to practice this is simply get outside and play. Have hop races across the yard, have skipping races across the yard. Do activities that require more than just running or walking or crawling. They require a little bit more agility and mobility. Lastly, the last one we're going to talk about is they can use forks, spoons, and sometimes table knives. So by the age of 5, your child should be able to hold that fork or spoon, again, tripod grip or even fist grip, and focus that fork on either poking the food or a spoon on scooping the food, and able to get it in their mouth. This takes a lot of fine motor, but again, since they've been working up to it, they should be able to do this confidently. And this one's super important because in public school, no one is feeding them. They've got to be able to do it themselves. Now, when it comes to the knife, please do not panic. You are not expecting your child to cut up their own chicken. What you are doing is you are giving them a very dull butter knife and allowing them to practice the movements. Maybe it's on butter, maybe it's on something soft like cream cheese and they're spreading, and maybe it's giving it to them once you've cut up the chicken and letting them mimic the motions. Again, it's the exposure and the practice that's most important. So, these are just a few of the 5-year-old milestones that your child is working to accomplish from the age of 5 to 6. And just a couple ideas on ways to do them. As always, if you have concerns, talk to your pediatrician, but before you panic, practice with your child first. Not all kids develop at the same pace, and that's great. That's the way it's supposed to be. And don't compare your child to other children. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. Like, subscribe, follow us on all the different social medias out there, and know that we'll be back with more suggestions and ideas for your little learner.